Hey, welcome to Talking Tough, the show that discusses all of the cool things happening in the Southwest Florida music scene.
Talking Tough, streaming to you live from DOS Co-op, downtown Fort Myers. And if you haven't got a pair of those sexy shoes, you should grab some. I'm wearing some right now.
You should get them because we are sponsored by Sexy Shoes.
Sponsored by even. That means they give us shoes.
Now,
sexy shoes.
we should give an introduction. Hi, I am not Frankie Colt.
And I am not Angela Page.
Who are you, though?
I am working that out each day more and more, and I will let you know when I figure it out.
Well, I'm Spencer Ellis, and I am one of the, hi. I'm Spencer Ellis, and I'm one of the producers on this lovely show, Talking Tough.
Well, I am Robert of Cuteness, and I also help produce. Wow, you're on this. And I also produce this show, and it's really cool and fun, and I'm glad you're here today.
So, our first little topic of discussion is, how are you, Bobby?
Well, that's a really loaded question, Spencer, because I've been going through a lot. I've been isolating a lot. I've been hanging out in my house in my own essence a lot. I've been not watching any Hulu, not watching any Netflix. I've been meditating. I've been doing yoga. I've been writing a lot of stuff down. I'm filling journals. So in the grand scheme of things, I would say I'm doing really well.
That's awesome.
Really well. How are you?
I'm really good. I am working on a video game, getting ready to put an album out, and living my dreams with the man of my dreams.
Can we high five on that?
Woo! Doing it.
Here's to crushing it.
So, yeah, doing pretty good. I think you might have another question, right?
Oh, I totally do. What are you listening to these days?
What
do you put in your ear holes?
Ooh, as I've been working on my own album, I've been listening to a lot of my own music, like some sort of garbage boy. But outside of that, I have been listening to.
There's no garbage boy about that. That's good. You gotta listen to your craft. You gotta.
That's true.
Take in your own essence.
You gotta sit in your essence. We've been talking about essence, and we're talking about your scent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So pretty much like Danny Brown and Das Racist, a bunch of rap that it came out like multiple years ago.
Ridiculous rap.
They'll wrap your dick again.
Good.
They
I
do it
need
again.
to get my dick wrapped.
I know
It's been a long time.
and it's summer now. So, you gotta do that.
Every summer you gotta
You know,
go in
just
and
once
get
a year.
it waxed off and get it wrapped around.
What are you
know?
listening to, Bobo?
Well, if I'm being honest, and I am, because I'm an honest boy, I've been listening to a lot of guided meditations. I've been listening to a lot of energy tones for clearing negative energy and for raising the high vibrations.
A lot of
and
theta
positive
waves.
energy. I don't know if that's an accurate terminology for them, but if it is, yes, that is what I'm listening to. I'm just trying to elevate my being and release a lot of the toxic negative energies that I've been storing up over the years.
From what I know, I think a lot of those, the meditative things, they'll put like specific wavelengths in it, like delta waves and theta waves that are
Okay.
supposed to break up energies.
You are further enlightening me.
Yeah,
right
well,
now.
I'm trying. That's what we're here to do, folks. This is Talking Tough, where we talk about stuff that is tough stuff. We talk tough stuff with our
Tough stuff,
friends.
so tough.
So
I'm
tough.
so tough. I really am. I'm strong.
You're very tough.
I'm so strong.
You're very strong.
I'm so strong.
so strong.
Are you kidding me, bro?
Build your bros up. That's what
Okay,
this is about.
Okay. Southwest Florida. Never mind.
It is a place,
It's a place
that
we are in.
happens to feature an
We're
artist
there.
that we have created a little video for. Our friend Oscar de la Portilla has a brand new exhibition that is going to be opening up here Friday, Art Walk, at Das Co-op Gallery. And let's go. You want to see some sweet
I would
footy?
like to see some of that footy. Could you roll some of that footy?
Let's roll.
Roll that footy. Go ahead, roll that footy.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, it's back to you.
Oh, good. I'm so happy it's back to me.
Is
Hi,
it
we're
us?
having a
Hi.
we're having
Yes.
a technical difficulty.
Totally technical.
So I think we're gonna try
difficult.
to run it again, and if it goes to hell, should we not?
It's very smooth.
It's skipping around, yes. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, do you see where the CPU usage is? Bottom left-hand corner of the screen? Bottom left.
60.
60. Okay, so we might be caught up here in a second. Is it starting to run a little smoother?
Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna roll that footy again. Enjoy some Oscar de la Portilla. Ha
What's happening?
That is something that's happening. What we are going to be talking about is something called
Southwest Florida doesn't suck.
This is sponsored by Sexy Shoes. It's a wonderful part of our show where we talk about the upcoming little events that are happening in our wonderful city in Southwest Florida. Now, the first one that I have to talk to you about is Friday, July 5th, which you might know as Art Walk event. Oh, did you hit a button? What button? Okay. So, we have Art Walk going on. There's going to be art, food, and live music over at Remedy's Parlor. They've got some live music from Bill Metz happening at 6 p.m. Should I continue talking, Frankie? Good, okay. Also happening that same exact day. So Remedy's Parlor is right over there. And if you're over there enjoying the live wonderful music, you should also take a little gander walkie down over here to Das Co-op, where we will be unveiling Oscar de la Portilla's brand new stuff that you got a sneak preview of just now with that video that kind of got real skippy the first time and then was kind of okay the second time. So that's going to be Friday, July 5th, and you're loving it. After that, we have Saturday, July 6th, is going to be a free show at Beach Records starting at 8 p.m., not 8 p.m., just normal 8 p.m., featuring Emerald Vision, Rox Revolt, Sex Luther, and Dizzy Goat? Dizzy Goat? Dizzy Goat? Dizzy Goat.
And we didn't talk about it, but on Thursday, the 4th of July, Zeta will be playing a show at Nice Guys Pizza.
Whoa!
So you should check that out. I'm not 100% sure when the start time is because we didn't write it down, and I'm a monkey who only reads from this little tablet here.
I'm
So
going to say 9 o'clock.
I would say
9 o'clock,
That's
probably.
good. No,
That's
9
a good Nice Guys
9
time.
p.m. It's a good, yeah.
Go over there at Michael PM, and you'll be great.
So,
Yeah, we have a topic. We have this week's topic of conversation, and it's going to be very interesting. Let me bring you over here to both of our lovely
That's
faces.
So cute.
Oh, I know. God, it sucks.
let's take it to the topic, which is...
I'm going to jump over here into the comments because we do have a few, and I'd like to jump in here to David Acevedo saying back on track, and also Live Rock in the Cape just wants Frankie, 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 and we promise that we will return Frankie to you next week. But this week she is helping us out very much by being behind the cameras while Angela is away, being Angela.
Because when
And
Angela's away, the children come out to
actually,
play.
I wonder.
The men.
So we have to get to this week's topic, and then we'll tell you guys what has been going on with Angela, because that's a super cool secret.
Yes, and speaking of men, the topic tonight is...
Toxic masculinity! Bwam, bwam, bwam! Which might have triggered a bunch of scared little Proud Boys out there. But we have 2 questions for you. Before we really dive into the topic, we do a swan divey right into it. The first question that we have for you is masculinity in itself problematic? What do you think, Blobbo?
What do I think?
Think about it.
You gotta think about it. And you, at home,
I'm
you
gonna
have to
think
think
about
about it too. And think with your hands. And think into your keyboards.
And then you think with your
into
enter
our
button.
chat
And
stream.
you hit the
where
enter button as many times as you do this first, and then you hit enter, then you do this, and then you hit
we will
enter.
see it and we will read it alive for the world.
If you have
And
any
then the second
questions, put a
question.
question mark at the end.
Would you like to say the second question?
Oh, and the second question is, what would you consider the positive aspects of masculinity to be?
I believe it's my beard, but I didn't mean to answer it right there. Ooh. So, to bring us back to the disappearance of the beautiful Miss Angela Page, that he is not, nor am I.
Right.
She happens to be in New York City right now at World Pride, and she sent us a cool little video for us to be watching. We love you, Angela! So, enjoy. Ah, yes, greetings again. That was super cool stuff. I was very happy to see how many people were out there at World Pride.
Yes, dude. The
Excited.
energy is, yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it through the screen, man. It's
Can
good
you
stuff.
feel it
I can.
in the air, in the air?
I feel it in my drawers.
That's a good place to feel things. So, this week, we just asked you a few questions. One of them being, is masculinity in itself problematic? To which I will say no. I truly do not believe it is. I think that there are many positive aspects of masculinity, and what we are talking about this week is toxic masculinity. Where, so think about the fact that you have a burger, and it comes to you, and it's a burger, and it's meat. And if you ask for a cheeseburger, that's a different kind of burger. That is a burger with cheese. So what we are talking about this week, when we talk about toxic masculinity, is not masculinity in its whole. It is the actually let me the elements or extremes of traditional masculinity that promote violence, homophobia, intermale power hierarchies, and dominance over women. So it is not masculinity as a whole, and it kind of leads us into the second question, which is,
What would you consider the positive aspects of masculinity?
now what would you consider the positive aspects of masculinity?
Honestly, dude, I'm gonna be 100%, and I'm like woefully ignorant on what. When I hear the word masculinity, I immediately think of toxic masculinity, and I feel grossed out.
I mean-
so I'm not 100% sure what masculinity is. Me personally, I am not well versed in it, as I have been kind of in-depthly in the subconscious or conscious toxic masculine world up until recently. So if you would like to enlighten me some more, but for real.
There are. So masculinity in itself is the gender roles that we put onto males in our society, which in itself is gross because gender roles are gross and outdated, but there are some positive aspects of what we've been, expecting out of men. And some of the positive aspects of it are like being honorable and being dependable and diligent and, able to protect and be brave and, think about all of the strong, positive men that have existed in the world in our lifetime that exuded manliness, being respectful, let's see here, confidence. That's a big thing. And as a gay man that likes dating masculine men, not that I have any sort of problem with any other kind of men, just sexual attraction thing, I love masculinity. And I think in itself there is the ability to find there's a lot of compassion and stuff in there or should be, but
a lot of that gets kind of torn to the wayside.
Gets swept under the rug because toxic masculinity is a big topic that's being constantly brought up all the time now, because it is affecting everyone. It is affecting women and it is affecting men. And
oh yeah, dude. I see it all the time at work. I work in a restaurant, and I see a server will ask somebody will ask a woman what they want to drink or what they want to eat, and then the man that they're with will pick up the conversation and say, oh, she'll have this, or oh, she'll have that, which just like screams to me like, no, not this, please, this is awful, like she's her own person, like she can make her own decisions. It's like perpetuating this problem, and like it might be seen as like protecting or like whatever, I don't know, it's like keeping women, it just keeps women down, and like seeing it constantly at work is like the man box.
The man box.
But I have to say, like, I've been really guilty of this as well. Through my insecurities and fear of loss and fear of not being good enough, and like I have kind of mentally dictated what the women that I date should or shouldn't be, or should or shouldn't do, based off my perception of what is best. And I haven't seen it. And I've seen that. I've been trained to do that through always thinking that I have to be bigger, stronger, funnier, smarter, more clever than every man that I see around me. I've been pitted against everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the social normative. And like lots of people I'm sure that lots of people feel this, like just always on guard, always in fear, always living in the fear of.
But you can't show it. But you can't show that fear.
Yeah. And yeah, it's crazy. And yeah.
So, what was it? I can't remember his name. Angela had sent us a video that we watched. It was a TED Talk by a guy named Travis Porter. Something Porter. We'll post about it in the comments below. But he described he was talking about toxic masculinity, and he described the man box, which contained all of the bits of toxic masculinity that we are constantly as men being told that we have to live by in order to be masculine, which is like you cannot cry openly or express any sort of emotion except anger, which is gross. It causes us as men to bury and never deal with our emotions,
and live in constant fear.
But not being able to show that fear, and not being able to talk to people about that fear. Yes,
and it's there, and it builds up the more negative energy, and it bleeds out into the children. Like, continue.
Well, you suffer silently because of that, because you can't, because
and then you teach your kids to suffer silently.
Yep.
Who teach their kids to suffer silently.
And
teach their kids to suffer silently.
That is why we want to break it.
Yes.
Because this is it. Looking at the suicide rates from like 2015, at least in the UK. What was it, 75%? I think I had it down here. 75% of all UK suicides were male. And, I mean, mental health is like a big problem that we are having right now, and especially with the fact that toxic masculinity is pretty much telling men that you can't express like the pain that exists inside you, and you can't go to other men and talk about like, hey, I'm having a problem like this. because you will be viewed as weak, or you'll be viewed as
like a pussy, which is
Yep.
freaking awful. And like in baseball, I remember being told like, oh, you throw like a girl, or like just like all these things that put women down and put men inside of said box. Like all the things we see, like porn, club scenes, bar scenes, media, any media, TV, billboards, magazines. It's all sex, 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 and it makes you believe that women are just in existence so that men can have sex with them.
Not
and
me.
Like, obviously, not you. But I want to be against that, and I've been kind of a hypocrite about it over the years, and like you said out loud that I want to be against that, but not practiced being against that, and just living in that subconscious space of I own you or I control you, and like that is not until recently moving to Florida for like 9 months have I like really been able to take a step outside of that box and want to change my subconscious and want to like reprogram my brain and be a better boy and be a better man to women and to all the people around me. But like I've working with Angela and Frankie has been fucking eye-opening as fuck. They're strong women. They've taught me that women are like so freaking smart and so freaking strong
And driven.
so freaking emotionally
and pretty.
driven,
Oh
and
God,
just,
just
like,
look at her.
just as equal as any of us. And like I've been hanging out in spiritual groups where people are like hanging out with each other and holding each other's hands or rubbing each other, or like the opposite sex are like hugging each other and talking and hanging out as friends, and like that's something that I haven't really seen in popular amounts. And it's really been great for my psyche to see that like women are not objects. Women are not something that are to be ruled. They are equals to us. They are equivalent. We are all human beings. We are all strong and powerful and have so much to fucking give in this world. And it's just like, I'm really glad that today I don't have to perpetuate that, through reprogramming and through isolating a little bit and like taking a look at the media I'm intaking, not seeing so much of the news, not seeing so much Netflix, Hulu, TV shows, porn, cutting porn out of my life, because it just dictates my thought processes into, oh yeah, call me daddy, or like all these things that I don't really want. I just want to show my emotions to somebody. I just want to feel with somebody on a real level. I want to be able to say, hey, I fucking love you, and have that be it, and then have like sensual moments, not just like bend it over, girl, or like call me. Like it's just, it's fucking gross. I have been fucking gross, and like this is a call to like action, or to anybody who's listening and who cares to change their ways. Like take a look at how you look at women. Take a real strong look at it, and see what comes out. Are you a victim of this, or are you or making somebody else a victim? Are you perpetuating this toxic masculine image of how women should be? And if that's the case, make some changes, please, because it's time for this world to be a better place, and we dictate how this world's going to be through our beliefs and thought processes and patterns, and we can make better thought processes and patterns today.
Hell yeah. Bobby!
Peace.
I'm going to jump into the comments real quick fast. Sweet David Acevedo was saying, that's a tough question. I've typed 3 things and deleted them, lol. Which, yes, and Michelle, I'll jump into what she's saying right now. Masculinity in and of itself is not problematic in her opinion. There are plenty of positive representations of it. Think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson too, who is the typical definition of a man in terms of appearance, but shows a sensitive side so gracefully. I think masculinity becomes toxic when it is used as a means of oppression. Not only does it confine people to a rigid description of how they have to be, aggro, for instance, it can also be used against others, aggro towards weaker other people, for instance, where exactly that. It's toxic masculinity hurts everyone, and that in itself that's the problem. Is it's like it's literally good for no one, and it exists in the gay scene as well as it does the straight scene, as well as it does like it affects everyone in different ways. It makes us feel like we can't seek help, which causes us to not let anyone know we're suffering, which leads to those 75% suicide rates in UK. And then
dude.
the other thing that it's a lot of the reason why there is this like divide between the fact that we can't say that like women have equal rights in America, because it's just been this patriarchal society that we've been living in forever. Like, it's always been dominated by men that think, oh, stupid women, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like mansplaining, all of this fucking garbage that comes out of it.
Dude, that's the reason all of my relationships have like failed, just because of my conditioning into being a toxic boy and just like not being kind and not being in touch with my feelings and being repressed. And like, I just got done dating someone who was like fucking super beautiful, strong, powerful, and like so much good stuff going on for her, and it like made me really like take a look at myself and be like, oh God, this is the kind of person that I want to be with. Why am I acting like this towards her? Why am I clamming up, closing off, not showing affection properly, putting her things down based off my insecurities, and just like,
there's a lot of conditioning that happens there from the time that we're young. And
it has been a rough road. I am happy to be stepping out on the other side of that curtain. Because, like, oh, wow, was the repression real. I'm feeling my feelings for the first time in, like, ever.
So I had
Since
actually...
a child. Since I was a child.
A child?
A child.
That's awesome, by the way. I'm happy to hear that you were, like, having all these breakthroughs.
I'm fucking happy to be having them.
Oh, yeah. I had this really good example of something. It was a series of tweets put out by someone, and it starts with my favorite way any tweet happens, which is, "Hey everyone, I'm a clown," and I think that's great. "Hey everyone, I'm a clown, and I just got back from face painting at a picnic, and here's my take on male violence in America. It starts young. It's more than just letting boys play with guns. It's how we shame them for feeling anything that isn't anger. A 4-year-old came up to me and asked me to paint a blue butterfly on his face, and his mom told me, no, he doesn't want that.
What? He does want that.
Butterflies are beautiful.
Butterflies are beautiful.
He said that's what he wants. Shouldn't I paint what he wants? No, give him something for boys. So she turns to the dad, a big guy in a jersey, and says accusingly, do you want your son to have a butterfly on his face? He says no. Which, cool. Let's bring your husband's masculinity into it too, because your 4-year-old needs to know that his father would be ashamed of him too. I really tried, you guys, but this woman was so scared of her son wanting a butterfly that she made me paint a skull and crossbones on his cheek.
What?
When I finished the skull, I said to the kiddo, you want a little blue butterfly too? He nods. His mom interrupts. You didn't ask me. I say in my kindest fuck you voice, oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was for him. I'm his mother, you need to ask me, she says. Sorry, I say, and wave goodbye to the kid. And I am. I'm sorry that he is not allowed to have something as miraculous and beautiful as a blue butterfly. I'm sorry that he was shamed for wanting to share in the joy that is the miracle and wonder of nature. I see this all the time, and I really feel for these boys, because the girls don't get it as bad. Being a tomboy is slightly more normalized. But when girls want skulls or sharks, the parents shrug and laugh like, haha, she's a kooky kid. Because maleness and masculinity isn't a sin. But when a boy wants to enjoy something for its beauty, they are told it's not for them, not in this house, not in this family. We're teaching them that anger and violence are the only things that they are allowed to experience, that to value beauty and elegance is shameful. I know it was just face paint, but that's sort of my point. Why in the hell are these parents shaming their boys over face paint?
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. That's two parents shaming a child.
Well, and it's believable too. That's what's so disgusting about it.
Oh, that's real. Was that not real?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's like,
But it's not even abnormal. I understand that.
like
And
that's something that I could totally see happening, or something I could have seen growing up. Because growing up in this culture, it's like, yeah, if you wanted to play with, parents would rather see their kids in handcuffs than in a skirt.
Oh yeah, and girls play with Barbies, and they have tea parties, and that they get to have fun and make believe, and dudes are just running around with
Cowboys
guns in
and
their
Indians,
hands,
which is
and
racist
shooting each
and
other,
awful, too.
and just like yes, that's not even to yes.
So, what do you guys think? Have you guys been negatively affected by toxic masculinity in your lives? Has there been any like specific happenstances of you being male and wanting to enjoy something cute or enjoy something that is not specifically within our assigned gender role that has had like major backlash in your social groups or anything like that? I would be very interesting to know in the comments. Speaking of those comments, I did want to. Oh yeah, Peter Coulter said that was just a bummer. Which yeah, it is.
It was very sad.
Well,
Very sad.
and it starts young, and that's the reason why. I mean, I would say when we look at these big mass shootings and stuff like that, how many times has it been a woman that did it?
That's a really good point that I'm just like coming to right now in my brain. I'm like, oh shit.
It's because we're perpetuating violence into men constantly, and it's not that. And
And
everyone
asking
is
them to
paying-
like step up to the plate and step up to the plate and step up to the plate. They have all
Be a
these
man.
expectations on their
Mhm.
shoulders. And then when somebody rubs them the wrong way, it's like, all right, I'll show them. And then they show them. And that's
sad.
fucking
The
sad.
way that it generally ends.
Because
up.
it's human condition, and then nobody really sees the point, which is it's starting at a young age. It's not because he was mad at his teachers. It's because he was mad at the world since the age of 5 because he was told to repress his fucking feelings. And like that's what we're not looking at. So we're not understanding that it starts so young. And now we're just blaming him like, oh, he was a confused boy or he was a troubled boy. It's like, yeah, he's a fucking troubled boy. You shoved bullshit down his throat from the age of 2, since he was old enough to fucking cry and understand that he shouldn't.
And it's that whole like, oh well, we just found out that the kid that we're having is a boy, so we're going to completely redecorate our pink bedroom that we had prepared for our daughter to a blue bedroom, and it's like, why are we gendering colors? Why are we like?
I like purple. I like pink.
I think
I like light blue. I like them all together.
raise all kids the same way. You know, just put love into them and accept them for all the good things that they are. You know, and instead of like putting out this like, oh yeah, my son another kid on the street got into this fight, but you know, boys will be boys. It's like that's what needs to stop, is like this mentality of oh well, that's just boys doing what boys do. And it's like, no, that's a human being acting out in a very shitty, oppressive manner.
And you should find out why. You should find out what's going on with the children instead of just saying boys would be boys. Like, find out what the root of the problem is and help them work through it. For fuck's sake, man. I don't want to see anybody as repressed as I see everybody.
Wow, beautifully said. I'm not seeing too many any more comments up in this thing, so I feel like we should probably leave something positive before we jump off and say our goodbyes. What's positive is you don't have to abide by these, and it is up to us to see if you have friends of yours that are constantly catcalling women or are hurting and not saying anything. You know, we have to be the ones making the change. It's the exact same reason why we're making this show is we want to see change, and you got to be the change that you want to see in the world, or else no one's going to start doing it.
And dude, you are the master of your own reality. Your brain dictates your reality. The things that you do resonate. If you go out of your way to make sure women are feeling safe and your buddies aren't doing like bad, like not being toxically masculine towards women, other people are going to see that and it's going to rub off, and they're going to, whether they take it or leave it, fuck it, whatever, throw the seeds out there. Throw the seeds of change out there and just see what sticks. See who it fucking implants onto. Just don't be a part of the problem, and that is in some way like a great thing that you can do. Just make sure that you aren't a part of the problem. Take a look at the way that you treat women. Take a look at the way that you view them, you think about them, and understand whether or not you're part of the problem, even if you don't know you're part of the problem, because chances are you are, and it's time to make a change. And you have that ability. You create your own reality, and you affect everyone and everyone else's energy around you. You affect them just by being a good person. So that's something you
Wait, do you want to say goodbye one more time?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, it's on you.
Thanks for watching.
Who are you? Who are you, fine fool?
I am Robert the Cute,
And I'm not Frankie Colt.
and I'm still not
Who
Angela.
are you? You're
Spencer
so cute.
and here's
Hi,
Bobby.
Robbie, Robert,
And thank you guys
Joyce,
for watching the
James.
show. It was very fun.
I'm the moistest of Joyce.
Oh yeah, also we're sponsored by DOS Co-op and Sexy
Sexy
Shoes.
Shoes.
SexyShoes.com, SexyShoes.com, SexyShoes.com.
Reinvent your whole existence.
You can hit it. Sexy Shoes.